The Deck Network. Build a deck. Bam! This is the Deck Network. I'm your host, Mike Danzilio, and we have the King of Queens himself right here.
The co-host, Matt Dalton. When you hear the bam, you know it's on. You're at the Deck Network. You're at the right place. Here at the Deck Network, it's all decks, all the time.
That's correct, Matt. Today's show, as we try to, with our new trend, is to keep them fast moving.
Pump them out.
Yes, we have...
We are show factory here.
Today's show is going to be on Trex Decking. Now, Trex is the largest decking company in the world.
We know them, of course.
For a long time, but first we're going to get to the mail.
Get tons of emails coming in. Thanks for all the feedback.
Hello, Mike. First of all, thank you for your many videos. They are very informative.
Don't mention it.
Okay. We are in the process of building a beautiful deck with acacia from AZAC, as we saw on the TimberTech show, or the AZAC TimberTech show. That's a dark brown, beautiful decking. The deck is picture framed and divided with the same color. I decided not to go with two tones. Here's the question. I'm looking at going with Trex Transcend railing and black round balusters. I'm considering going with a color that best matches the acacia for the top and bottom rails with the white post, which is very popular. Which Trex railing color would be the best match for the acacia color? Would the closest be to vintage lantern? That's his question. I have not seen it up close, and I was wondering what others have done since you have seen so many decks. If you could suggest a few options, that would be great. I understand that it is all personal preference, and maybe you could sway me one way or the other. Also, what kind of price am I looking at? A ballpark, 6-foot sections, or what I'm looking for?
Oh, man, Darren's got a ton of questions.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
For the whole,
we usually don't talk about pricing, although we may start changing that and start talking a little bit about pricing. Okay, here's the answer. Hi, Darren. Thanks for the email. You are correct. Ding! The Trex Vintage Lantern rail would most closely match the acacia decking. The price for a 6-foot section of rail with the white post sleeve cap and skirt with those black round balusters will be about $40 per linear foot. I think that our pricing up here in the Northeast is probably as good as it's going to get, because the retailers here, myself included, we buy the most decking, so we get the best pricing.
Bulk rate.
And it's very competitive. There's a lot of lumber yards around here.
So $40 a linear foot. You think that price will be good throughout all of 2015?
Oh yes, of course, yes. Yeah, but that's still the darker, the colored railings always cost more than the white railings. Maybe in some cases 20–25% more.
Oh wow.
It's just the resins, and they have to keep it from getting any fade on it. And actually the Trex railing has a it has their what they make the product out of is better, is very good. It doesn't fade at all. You clean it off a little bit and it just looks great. Okay, that's it for Darren's question.
Great question.
Let's get to the show.
Yeah, I understand you were out in the field. You went out and you met with Steve at Trex. Where did this video take place now, Mike?
It took at the in Las Vegas,
in Vegas
International Builder Show.
Yeah, I wasn't invited to this. Okay, you gotta kind of have some sort of communication here, man. I'm in the studio. I'm the co-host with the most, the King of Queens, as people like to call me, and I'm stuck here. I can bring so much to the field. Okay?
You were invited, but you couldn't get a visa. Now, again, the question is, would he need a visa to go from New York to Las Vegas? Matt needs a visa from Mrs. Dalton. And usually...
The Mrs. Deck Network. Yeah, it got denied right at customs right at the end there.
Usually...
Okay.
And I don't know why this is, but my married friends, their wives don't let them go anywhere with me for some reason.
Yeah, it's...
Did you see
the Deck Network's a very powerful thing. Walking down the strip in Vegas, people are seeing Mike. They're saying you're the guy from the Deck Network. So you're kind of with an internet celebrity.
Did you see the interview I did with the Coma Girls?
I have. I don't think the Deck Network audience has yet, and that's one that...
Okay, that'll be out there and we're going to have another show with that one. But this is the Trex website. They have all kinds of ideas, hundreds of different photographs. But first, let's get to the Steve Phillips from the IBF show in Las Vegas.
Bam.
Hi, we're with my good friend Steve Phillips from the Trex Company. How are you? Great to see you. And we're going to talk about Trex products today, but in this particular interview, we're going to do Trex Decking. So Steve, what do we have for Trex Decking?
Well, Mike, we've got 2 new colors this year. We've got Island Mist, which I'm standing on. It's a sort of a weathered gray approach. And then we also launched Havana Gold, which is behind me. It's kind of a nice light gold hue, a lighter brown color than Spiced Rum. The reason we launched these 2 colors, Mike, is we were a little bit unbalanced. Our monochromatic line had 5 colors. We only had 3 in Tropics. Tropics is driving the category. It's what people want, right? Yeah. So we wanted to balance out the line, kind of fill some gaps. We always had people asking for a gray weathered board. So this is ours.
This one sells. We do really well with the Island Mist. Okay, let's just look around over here. Since this is Trex's #1 line, is the Tropics line.
Right.
Well, okay, we have our Havana Gold here. This is a new one for 2015.
And as you'll notice here, we're bordering with lava rock with both colors, and it's really nice. So you can border Tropics with Tropics. A lot of people don't do that.
There's a lot of profile issues. There's the same thickness, same width,
right.
Same grain pattern.
Yep.
We have Spiced Rum,
Yep.
lava rock.
Very popular color.
There you go. All right, right now we're going to look at the Select Decking.
Yep. So Select is our price board. It's a 7/8 board. It's meant to go after people who are more conscious about price but still want that same Trex performance. So you're standing on Winchester Gray. It's a really nice border color. Almost has a little bit of a bluish hue to it. We've got Madeira here, which is our classic red that we had in our Accents line before. Woodland Brown, which is close to a vintage lantern. It's sort of a real dark brown color, great as a border. Pebble Gray, which is our newest color, which is a lighter sort of Winchester Gray faded color, if you remember the Accents line. And then you've got Saddle back there in the corner by the leaf, which is that light brown color. It's actually our most popular color.
That's the #1 seller. But hey, now we got to get over to the monochromatic colors of the Transcend.
This is actually
this is Enhance over here. Okay.
So Enhance is obviously offered everywhere, but we sell it predominantly in the Big Box channel. We've got Saddle, Clamshell, and Beach Dew. So the Beach Dew is kind of a nice, real light tan color. Clamshell is a sort of a weathered gray. And then the Saddle is a close match to what we've got in the Select line.
Hey Steve, what do you got over here?
Oh, this is our Transcend monochromatic. Standing on the leaf is the vintage lantern, surrounded by Treehouse, which is a very popular kind of a light brown color. We've got fire pit over here, and I'd like to point out next to the fire pit is we've got a new white universal fascia. This fascia carries the same 25-year fade and stain warranty that all of our other cap composites carry, but it's got that nice poppy white finish that sort of mimics PVC trim but outperforms it.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is people will scuff their toe against the riser board, and if the PVC trim, it'll leave a mark, and that's going to be very difficult to get it off unless you paint it.
Another advantage is if you consider a fascia that touches the ground, you put a weed eater up against most other materials, it's going to leave dents and scratches and stains. None of that affects this product.
Okay, Steve, great job. Thanks for showing us the decking.
Thank you.
All right, Matt. That was
Super
Steve.
informative, yeah.
Steve does a great job with these interviews. I've known him for a few years, does a great job. All right, let's get right into some of these products. Trex has like to employ what they call their good, better, best scenario, their sales scenario. And as the products have changed a little bit, it's kind of clouded the line between the good and the better. In the old days, before they discontinued making standard composite decking, there was definitely a difference. Their old Accents line was the good. The Transcend line or the Enhanced line, which Steve mentioned, was the better, and then the Tropics line was the best. So it's all, we've taken the low end out of it, and we've kind of brought the average up a little bit.
High tide raises all
yes.
ships.
So
old decks.
Right. So this is there's one more color here that's not on here.
There it is.
All right, so this is the Trex Select line. It's more of a value product. I sell mountains of this stuff, and here's the, that doesn't look very good. Let's look at the fifth color. We have the saddle color, the woodland brown, the Madeira, and the Winchester gray. Those were the same names as they used on the Accents line from years back. And in the old days, the old Winchester gray used to fade out to this color. Well, they don't fade anymore because they have the 25-year fade and stain warranty. So they made one for each of them, and this one works well in a great border color for this. And it's not the biggest seller. I think the saddle and the pebble gray are the biggest sellers in this line. People are always coming into me and say, "Oh, I have this huge deck, 1,000, 2,000 square feet," and there are some big decks around here. in some of these areas, and they say, well, should I use the capped composite decking or should I build it out of wood? The answer is always not to use the wood. The wood will cost less up front, but the maintenance is what's going to get you. And by the time you stain that deck the second time, and if you put a pressure treated deck down and you do not stain it, it's you're going to have little cracks and checks and splinters. The color's just not going to look that good, so it's going to need some sort of maintenance, and that's what this whole business is all about, is less maintenance.
Easier on the end user.
Yes.
Sell more product because they're happy with it.
If on a pressure treated deck, you should stain that deck within 30 days of it being installed. You'll notice that it'll start having these little hairline cracks on it, that it's dry enough to accept the stain. You got to stain it, or it's just going to crack up, check up really bad.
All this
the
work,
cost
all
of
this
that
stain
costs
seems
about
like a pain.
$2 a square foot to stain a deck. And once you do that the second time, so if you do it every other year, most people do it every year because they want their deck to, when they start the decking season in May or June, they want everything to look as good as possible. By the time you do that the second time, you will have spent the same amount of money as you would have if you put the capped composite decking.
The first time around.
It's offering a lot of value, so that's why we see a lot of both the bigger brands, the Trex and the TimberTech, have an offering in what we call the value option. It goes great against wood. It's really cost effective to build it with these decks. Now, having said that, some people want a little more upgraded colors. So Trex has their Transcend line, and this was their first one. It came out in 2010, and I have not had one warranty issue with this product
That's
at
saying
all.
a lot.
Nothing happens to it. It's I like to say that it's bulletproof, but my friends at Trex says don't say it's bulletproof because someone will try to shoot it and they'll go right through it. But we have the 5 colors, the standard colors. We have the treehouse, the vintage lantern, the fire pit, the gravel path, and the rope swing that came out a few years ago. These products have a very thick shell on it, very hard. You know, hey, when we went to you and I went to the Jimmy Buffett concert, and they had about a 4,000 square foot deck
at the beach there.
Yes, and it was with this decking here, the gravel path. And I used to always say that I thought it had a little too much of a deep grain. I think I get too close to this decking. When we went to that concert, they had that 4,000 square foot deck, and it was even screwed through the top because it gets a lot of wear and tear on it, and it looked great. There wasn't any scratches or stains or anything on it.
I remember saying they couldn't use the camo tool, hide some of those fasteners, but I guess it's such a large application.
Plus, they get storm shows. This is right on the ocean.
Yeah,
and that deck had to be put there because of Hurricane Sandy in 2012. It just took the whole thing away. So these things have to be in there strong. As Steve told us, they have some new colors for the Trex Tropics line, and that was just to balance it off a little bit. But this is for we've had for the last couple of years. We've had the spiced rum color, which is the darker brown, let's say medium brown, and then the lava rock. These were the first 2 to come out, and it has the variegations on, meaning the streaking on it. Tiki Torch came out about 3 years ago. It's probably 2.5 years. This has been our best-selling decking for the past few years. Tiki Torch decking.
That's beautiful.
Steve said that for 2015 they have some new colors, but this one came out. They introduced it, and what Trex does great is they have what they call their soft launch. That they just don't wait till the beginning of the year because they don't know how much of it's going to sell. So they send it out to the larger dealers. We got this product in June, and we sold a lot of it. 1 week, I think in September, I sold 16 units of this, which is almost a full truckload of just this one color in 1 week. A lot of decking. Hey, want to put that over there? So Steve had mentioned that they have their new color, their Havana Gold, which is this one right here. It's a little orange, yellowishy color.
That's a nice variation.
It looks great. And then I like to compare it to other colors. So this one is the Tiki Torch decking. Again, this is the one that I sell the most of, the Tiki Torch decking. That's the Havana Gold.
Similar. Same.
Yeah, it's a little lighter.
Same scheme.
And then this one is the Island Mist that just came out last year. As I said, we sell an awful lot of the Island Mist.
And we know in the Northeast people love those gray.
People love the grays.
Yep.
Now, this is a question that people ask me all the time. They say, what's the best decking? Now, I guess if you go to a lot of different lumber yards and they only carry one or the other brand, then they'll say, well, you're saying that just because you carry one or the other. Here at No Maintenance Decks, we carry both of these brands. We fully invested with both of these brands. And they say, what is the best decking? And then I say, well, it depends upon your criteria for best. If the best decking is considered the best looking decking, then the TimberTech Legacy has such a beautiful interior floor look. But if your best decking is that it looks like wood, then the Trex is because it looks more like wood. Although the Trex is a little more durable, but that's not saying that the TimberTech Legacy is not durable, and it's certainly not saying that the Trex Tropics is not beautiful, because they both are. They're very similar. You want to look at these products to see which one matches your motif or what your house looks like. Now, I've been selling decking for a long time, and usually when a couple comes up and they're looking at the decking, I look at their eyes, especially the woman. And I can see what their eyes go to.
The eyes don't lie.
And the first decking color they look at, which is a lot of times is this one right here, I say that's the one you should go with, because that's what your eyes took you to the first shot. A lot of times,
subconsciously, they're choosing the deck without knowing it.
People are not confident in their own decision-making abilities sometimes, and so they try to talk themselves out of it because they think they're going to make a mistake. So using any of these products will not make a mistake. These are probably the best all-around deck.
And you don't have to worry about what they're putting into them. You know, we've seen a lot of different countries come to the space over the last several years with products. Maybe you don't know what's in them.
That's an interesting observation. When I was at the International Builder Show in Las Vegas, which
I wasn't there, wasn't invited.
When we were poking around, of course we were very busy because I didn't have a lot of time to spend there, just a lot of interviews. But we noticed that there was a lot of people from China. All I'm seeing are these booths, and the products are from China.
Okay.
And I get people writing me from China, and we did a show a few years ago on overseas decking. But it seems as though if you're going to put it in your body, touch your body, or even your pet's body, if it's from China, you're probably better off buying something else, because for some reason they put all kinds of stuff in these products that you never know. We have the infamous drywall situation, the Chinese drywall in the southeastern part of the U.S.
Lead paint being used on children's toys and animals.
In Canada, there was a product that went bad, and of course the Chinese government doesn't stand behind it, so the distributors or the retailers end up having to pay for it. And there was also a story last year about the dog treats from China. Killed a bunch of dogs. I mean, your pets are part of your family.
So think about it. We're not steering you any way, which way, but with something like this, with decking, if you're going to be interacting with it, your family's going to be on it, make sure you work.
You know what you're going to get when you work with the Trex Tropics product. It is great stuff. As I say, probably the best all-around decking because it is super durable and looks great also. You're going to want to match your rails to it. Depends upon what your house is. But again, that's a show for another day. So that's it for today's show, Matt. If anybody has any questions, you can write me at mike@thedecknetwork.com or
Matt at the Deck Network. And
when was the last time you checked your email?
A couple months back. We're going to start to thaw out and respond. There's been a lot of questions asked to me in regards to a lot of different things. So we're sifting through them. We appreciate any new info or questions you come to us with. It's a new decking season, and we are excited.
Yeah, you can find all of the old videos on the Deck Network.
We're getting
website.
Up there too. How many we at?
Well, they're pushing 100 videos. There's on our YouTube channel, everything's on there. Some of even the marketing products are on there.
Yep.
But again, check us out on Facebook. I used to do Twitter. I just couldn't see any worth value for it at all. But have a great day. Great show. I love always, the stuff.
We love you at Trex. We love you on the internet. Mike saying goodbye, Matt saying goodbye. I'm going to throw something at the camera. Ciao.
For now.